Hello, hello. Good evening. Chorizo con papas. Bien nombre. Saludos, bro. Where am I at? I'm on a rig. Not too far from Hobbs. About 50 miles west of Hobbs. Carnivore police. Eres bien desmadroso. What's up, bro? Uh, what a mess. That chicken. What? Dallas, Texas. Austin, Texas. 512. Menudo. Austin Pronto. Simon que sí, carnivore. A paisa en la casa. Salty from Salinas, California. Copa Guerrero. Waiting for him to drop this silo. We're at a rig. Mira. Look at that Luna. Oh, Chivo hitting the switches over here. Monterrey. Saludos. Patricio. Copo Martinez. Orizaba, Veracruz. Saludos. Sereno Paisano en la casa. Al's Motor Sports. With a Piro Americano nombre. What's up, bro? Chivo Guero. Desde, what is it, Lee County? Lea County, whatever they call this. I'm about 50 miles west of Hobbs. 15 millas oeste de Hobbs. Carlsbad, mucho más millas oeste, Habitos. Right over there. Calo, from Esperia, una estrella. Oh shit, mucho estrellas, gracias. Where you tonight? Space Ghost. I'm on a rig. Not too far from Hobbs. Holy shit, un tortuga. Con agua. It's very thirsty. Thank you. How was the weather? It's not too bad. Yeah, it's Keller. It's warm out there, but it's not that bad. Thank you. I appreciate the gift. I'm right here in Artesia in your neck of the woods. I'm not too far. Not too far. I'm not too far from Hobbs. But I think we're both in the Delaware Basin, right? Tapatio en la casa. Saludos. Chivo Guero. Gerardo. Sorry if I fuck up your name, bro. Gwydion. Is that how you say that? Goat support. Arthur's. Saavedra. Gracias. Simone, I said it right, Orale. What's up, Chivo? We miss you on the West Coast. I miss you guys too. My attitude kind of went to shit here lately. But it's all right. I got a new job coming up. It's not Frio. Not reefer. I'm going to be moving to Pecos or Fort Stockton. Get out of this area, Hobbs, Seminole, that area. Hopefully Sunday I get my RV moved and start this new job. It's still in the oil field, but I think it's going to be a lot better. It'll be more of a schedule instead of this always on call in the truck, hurry up and wait bullshit. Nevada, goat in the chat. Marty, Mary, Salt Lake City, Walter, apreciado mucho, gracias. Ralph Fernandez. I haven't been doing much social media lately. I've been mucho manejando, mucho viajes, pretty much Longview, Shreveport, Louisiana, Longview, Texas, Asta, Odessa. I went through Dallas, Fort Worth quite a few times here this last week, but I just haven't had the time. Always trying to make it there to that power plant in, God damn it, I forget the name of that town. It's over by Kilgore, Texas. There's a couple lakes over there. There's a big power plant over there. Carnivore Police. Greetings, Chivo. God bless your life and your path. Dios te bendiga a tu vida. Y camino también. Patricia Cortez. Muchas gracias, amiga. Apreciado mucho. And, what's up, Chivo? I like those fried jalapenos. Yeah, the one recent. Yeah, the what the all subs, the bacon wrapped ones. Those are pretty damn good. Adrian, San Antonio, Viejo. Saludos a la distancia. Hobbs, New Mexico. Tulsa, Oklahoma. Yes, sir. Whenever I go to Pecos, Texas, I have just enough hours to make it to Fort Stockton. Lowe's crash out and then go deliver in Pecos in the morning. That's when I'm hauling flatbed, casing and pipe. They make you run hours running pipe. But I'll be in that Camino. Be running belly dump. Be doing that. There's like a gravy run over there from Fort Stockton to over by Pecos. And you can get quite a few loads in a day. There's a year contract. So hopefully that the plan goes through and get out of here by Sunday. Get out of that peachy RV park I'm in over there. A little too conservative for me over here. Edinburgh, Texas. Pito Pichi RGV. Come on. What do you recommend for a hangover? Menudo para la cruda. And ceviche does the trick. You know, caldo de res. Those mucho caldos, they do the trick. You know, but definitely menudo. That's my go-to. Some mariscos, some aguas chiles, a bien michelada will do the trick. A clamado, preparada, whatever you call it. That helps for the cruda. Stuff like that. Those are my go-tos. Is that Johnny Cash? Hello, I'm Johnny Cash. Hear the train a-coming. It's rolling round the bend. And I ain't seen the sunshine since I don't know when. I'm free from Folsom Prison. That's where I want to stay. La Raza in San Gabriel, Califas. Tacos La Raza in San Gabriel. I'll have to check that out. Old Chuck Martinez. What's up, old man? Nada, mijo. I'm trying to make some fatty. I stay out of trouble. Over here in the Pito Pichi, Delaware Basin. Quince millas oeste de Habitos. I don't want to say the name of the rig. I'm waiting for this silo to be dropped. And then go get my descargado pronto. Go get unloaded and go back to my RV. Ralph Fernandez. Nice song. Te quieres más? I'm well versed in classic country. Whataburger after a long night of drinking. You know, that puts a little grease in your stomach. Before you go to bed, get drunk. You know, I do the same shit. Or I hop. Go get a desayuno plato americano with some bacon and eggs, some hash browns. You get some of that stuff in your panza before you go to bed after drinking. That it helps. But Indiana. Greetings to those from Jalisco. Saludos. I mean, Jalisciense y Sinaloense. Jose Hernandez. Morristown, Tennessee. Who is that? Herminio Carreno. You don't like library? What? You never been to the library in Las Vegas? You like that one? I think there's a few cantinas called the library. They got them around in all the major cities. The library. You know, I helped my boss, an old boss, do the new one in Vegas in the early 2000s. They actually gave me a shirt and everything. And that was actually a nice place at one point. I haven't been to a Chichi Cantina in a long time, since the early 2000s. Hell, I haven't been to a Hooters. I still haven't been to Ojos Locos. I wanted to go to that one in North Vegas, across from Gordo's Tacos, across the freeway over there. And someday, you guys, I'll get back into it. Who's this guy? Is that my colega? You can't unload it before me. Oh, it's that trigger. Don't worry, you guys. I'll be leaving. Spinnaker. I'll be leaving. Anyways, I'm not going to get negative. But I see what's going on over here. It's cool. I can't wait to get out of here. Tell you the truth, you guys. It's been fun, Hobbs, until recently, but it's time to go. And it's time to fucking go. That's all I got to say about that. And let's end this fucking chapter and get out of here. And we're going to do a Nuevo Camino, a true West Texas, Pecos, Texas. And go get out of here. You guys be patient. LA, Denver, Washington, Tennessee, North Carolina. Be a little patient with the Guero. H-down sooner or later. I'll do the reefer again. But for now, we're going to go do some belly dump. And it's still oil filled type stuff. Do that for about another year, at least most of it. And then I'll bounce. We'll go do some reefer again. Coming to a city near you. Be patient. See you later, Chivo. Take care. Ralph, hey, have a good night, bro. God bless you with a Carnivore Police. I appreciate you. Menudo Mariscos. Chile, salt, sal, limon. Oh, por la cruda, Simon. Menudo Mariscos. And don't forget micheladas. Or clamato preparada. Good luck, homie. I appreciate it, Space Ghost. 9565. Fayuko. Those likes are probably people from Hobbs. Yeah, okay, leave. Bye. The only likes I get. Chivo, I just joined. Where are you, Colonel? I'm on a rig. About 50 miles west of Hobbs. All right, let's go to the silo. Company man. Lamb? Consume? That sounds pretty good. Politics? Fucking sucking trucking. We're not bootlickers. That's right. You got that right. Damien and La Casa, fellow trucker all the way from Dallas, Texas. 915 El Chuco. Paso, Tejas. Jose Perez, I appreciate that. And I think I stayed here about 6 months too long, to tell the truth. Caused me a lot of grief, a lot of money loss. Just spinning my wheels over here. God bless you. All right. Let me do a U-turn. Hold on. I always feel like somebody's watching me, and I get no privacy. Oh, I always feel like somebody's watching me. Doing a tight U-turn. Hold on. Vámonos. How you doing?
Doing good. How you doing?
Pretty good, pretty good. Chivo, how you living these days? I'm gonna be living a lot healthier pronto. I got a move coming up. Pecos and Fort Stockton. Pronto. No más Hobbs.
I'll be glad they finished playing around with C1. Have to go all the way down Battle Axe. Pain in the damn ass. An extra hour almost.
Can you back me up a little bit?
I got you.
Yes, sir. Stay and watch. Yeah, sorry, I'm kind of busy. We're talking. Just kind of showing you what I do, you guys. The luna's pretty big over there. The hunter's moon, right? Buck moon. Buck moon. Thank you for the correction. It was really good this morning, like 3 in the morning. Yes, sir. I don't know which one's yours. Put the other ones on my seat, please.
Alright, got you.
This guy's the best. Appreciate that. Forgot my belt. I didn't expect to come to an outbound. I always pull up my pants. And I'm going nature boy today. I got no boxers on. I got no panties on. Pino's Truck Stop, Las Vegas. Man, I missed that. I missed the Pino's restaurant before they turned it into a dispensary. That's already been like 5 years, right? You know, Las Vegas, New Mexico. They got some good spots over there. New Mexico style and authentic. That's the end of the plains, where the plains meet the Sierra Madres de Nuevo Mexico. You ready?
Saddleback.
Don't open it all the way or what?
Do I? I said, you got your saddleback?
Oh, yes. Yes, it's over here. There you go, sir.
All right.
good, my brother? Little Roman. I'm running cement or bay ride or whatever it is to the rigs. It's on the other side of my truck. About 50 miles west of Hobbs on a lease road. There are no worries. Awesome gang. Aqua. Work overnights in the oil field is 24/7. On call. Total bin, looking good. Better check it out. It's kind of dusty out. Excuse the back camera. The lights with the dust fuck it up. Fuel tanker, food grade. It's a bulk transfer trailer, pneumatic, for doing like powder, cement, bayrite, fly ash, lime. I haven't done lime yet, but shit like that, dry stuff, and pretty much pushes it out. You know. Actually, I heard food grade. Some people do food like flour and shit. I didn't even know that. That's pretty cool. Old school truck show. Pneumatic trailer, yes sir. Oilfield, come on. Did what you do for 18 years and finally walked away from it last year. Got tired of the BS, and the money isn't what it used to be. Yeah, I'm tired of the politics in it. I have a Rasa audience, and the Rasa, I'm tired of the Rasa fucking me, to tell you the truth. I've been to good crews where they don't play like that. There's different cliques over here, and this one makes me, I get picked last. I'm tired of the meek little shit, to tell you the truth. But I got a move coming up. Hopefully Sunday I move my RV. We're gonna move to do something different. And thank you for the Super Mario coin. And more than likely move to Pecos. Fort Stockton is a possibility too. Bunch of bullshit. West Texas, yes. New Mexico, mostly New Mexico. Delaware Basin and the Permian. I do a lot of transfers. Sweetwater, Texas. Shoot, lately I've been going to Tatum. Flash around here, go all the way to Tatum, which is by Longview. I've been over by H-Town. Pretty much, what's it called? Over by Sugarland, Texas. There's another power plant that's fly ash. I do a lot of fly ash. It's mostly what I do. So I do the different classes of cement. I've done bayrite like once or twice. But sometimes I do a lot of outbounds and don't, it's been a while since I've done an outbound. Been on the lease road. I'm in the oil field, Simone. Yes, sir. Your song selection, the vids and stuff. I want to ask you guys, what do you, the Corridos, the views went way down. No, I haven't been that consistent. I've been busy. What do you guys want? I have to pick. I could do like a one-off either way every once in a while, make it work. But you guys want Corridos? You want some Espanol, Corridos Ranchera? Like I do with my other social networks? Or do you guys like the heavy metal, the hard rock? Let me know. I could go freestyle, do everything. 80s, some gangster rap, Easy does it. I'm well versed in everything. I've listened to a little bit of everything. Tulsa, Oklahoma, God bless you. Dios te bendiga. Oh, Patricia, muchas gracias. Keep doing what I'm doing, orale. Yeah, Corrido order. I'm gonna get in my other truck back. This guy's, my jefe's real conservative. I'm not talking smack. He's a nice guy, but he's a little too conservative. I like oppressed with the social media thing. So we'll get that thing running again. It'll be Piro Bandito, Piro Outlaw. I'm gonna go run an old truck I used to run, the original Pelavacas, with the old jefe. Oh shit! Look at that. Let the eagle soar. Come on, America. Come on. And pretty good jefe out of West Odessa. So we're gonna go hook it up. Renee, Jackson, Mississippi. Good evening, good evening. Mary Falcon. My handsome little blonde. Mi guapo, Chiquito Blonde. Saludos, Maria, old school truck show. Come on, America. What kind of tractor you got? I got a Kenworth W9. I'm a mono. I'm a hand. It's not mine. It's not a cat. It's an old Detroit. A lot of W9s have a Cummins 13 speed. This one's an old school Detroit. Arkansas, Little Rock. Come on, Lewis. East Los. Hey, Transa. Good old Whittier Boulevard. Come on. Philadelphia, Chicken Inn. Old Scratchman. Rubes, Lewis, old school truck food. I always feel like somebody's watching me, and I'm about to leave. Whoa, a few more days. Pecos, Texas. Should have left 6 months ago. 6 months too late. Staying in hot. Saved me a lot of trouble. A lot of fucking money too. I got a 13. Caliphate Salt Flats. Granado. You love a cat? Cummins? You like the sound of Cummins? He was born in Las Vegas, New Mexico. Can you do a dip there? I've done a few old school ones. I've done Pinots back in the day a couple times. I did one that went viral about 2 years ago. It won me a trophy. Yeah, when El Fierro del Año. The first time I went to H-Town, Rhythm Theater, and that video went viral. I forget what restaurant it was, but I had huevos rancheros, New Mexico style, and I did Beto Quintanilla. There was an old school 50 style Ford there, or Chevy or something, and it was a really good video, Las Vegas, New Mexico. It's been a while since I've been through there. I used to hit that Camino a lot, dropping down from Denver to Albuquerque and shit. Wasted days and wasted nights. There's a movie. Bienvenido al Chivo movie review order. You guys go look at the Milagro Beanfield Wars. It's an older 80s movie. Milagro Beanfield Wars. It's got Freddie Fender in there. He makes an appearance. And it's about a little town in New Mexico. Kind of where you drop in the Client's Corners, and it's keep going past there, it's a little town. It's a real town. But it's about a little Mexican town, New Mexico history. About the water rights and beans and the fight with the government. And all they wanted to do is, some water accidentally leaked out. And they had a good crop of beans in this little pueblo. And they had a good old time. They all came together, picked the beans. And it's a really good movie. It's hard to explain. But Freddie Finder's in there. Look it up. The Milagro Beef Wars. Pretty damn good. You'd be surprised some of the actors in there. Pero Nuevo Mexico. 505. And this shit's moving kind of slow out. Whatever they put in there, it's pretty sticky. Temecula. Lupillo Rivera. Where the fuck is that? I forget where that's at. That's over by El Centro or what? You're talking Mexico. Mary, take good care of yourself. I will. I'm looking forward. I don't know if that's translating. You said that in Espanol. But, poquito más días. Un nuevo, nuestro jale. Mueve pecos días. Diferente trailer, diferente jefe. Y mi piensas, más feliz, pronto. Yo tengo gacho actitud aquí. Hobbs has been, mi tiempo en Hobbs bien, at the same time, a lot of going backwards. A lot of it's my own dumb decisions. Can't really blame anyone. I make the decisions to go work for whoever, go do this and that. So I'm a grown man. I take responsibility for that. And but yeah, it's pissed me off. No more just walking into shit, trusting everyone like a golden retriever puppy dog. And I've been bit too many times, but it's my fault. I got to be smart of the decisions I make. Just being gullible, being soft, and I can't do that anymore. It's costing me too much. I do have a reputation for being soft. I've been burnt a lot of money, $4,500. It's cost me a lot. Anyways, más mueve. Learn from it, move on. But yeah, I got a new chapter coming up, you guys. Is this a good job for a man with a family? Not if your family's far. Well, it depends. You got a strong family. I wouldn't suggest it. You're always away. You could come here and work and stack your money. You're not going to see your family. You're going to be away a long time. I don't suggest it. You can make a few $100s less a week doing something else local and have a more of a normal life and be there for your family. You can't replace lost time with family, because you're trying to chasing that dollar. I don't suggest chasing that Americano Feria. By me doing it most of my life, I've went through 2 divorces and I don't really have nothing to show for it. And in the end, no one respects you anyways. Worked my ass off and played hard too. I've done some stupid shit along the way, but the Chakra Casino Resort is located in Temecula. I don't think I've ever been there. I've been through Temecula, but I don't have been in that casino. Mary, thank you. Muchas gracias. Bro, I feel you. I burned the last 8 months. Thank you for the advice. Maria, and if you guys are single, go for it. If you're young, single, yeah. Fucking A. If you got a girlfriend, you're not married, no chiquitos, no kids, bring her with you. Or if you're a woman, bring your man with you. Yeah, it's an oil field. It's more of a construction type thing. It's a belly dump. But yeah, it's an oil field. Pecos to Fort Stockton. And I like it down there. It's a more prettier desert. I like the people back down there better. I know there's some good spots in Fort Stockton. Pecos I've yet to explore. But Fort Stockton's got some, what is it, Guadalajara restaurant? It used to be across from that truck stop with the Burger King in it. They used to have a Mexican buffet years ago and it closed down. And I found it again. They built a new one on the other side of the freeway, I-10. And I'll be going there again. It's a pretty damn good restaurant. Bring out the beers, buddy. Saca las chelas pronto. quit trucking? Can I explain what I'm doing now? I run cement or dry chemicals for the cement process of drilling. When they do the casing, there's multiple stages. The shakers aren't really working too well in that middle pod. So you got the rig. Mira. Those are frac tanks. That's probably water in those. Over there they got OBM, oil-based mud for drilling. I used to do that with vacuum. A whole lot of mud transfers and cleanouts in South Texas during the boom. This is a pneumatic trailer. It's for dry bulk. I've heard people even do food grade like flour, like real fine. Some people do frac sand, stuff like that. Frac sand's about the biggest you can push out, you know, the grain and shit. But it's made for that, like dry powder shit. And fly ash, which is soot from coal, from power plants. They use that in the cement process. Some loads are like Portland cement, the dry stuff. Not too many, because when they drill deep, and I'm not an expert, you guys, so feel free to correct me, but when they drill down, they do a cement process. They call it doing the casing, and there's multiple stages to it. Some places they drill real deep. Some places, you know, a little more shallow. When you drill deep, it's hotter, different temperatures, and cement, it sets up different. You got to use different shit or it won't set right. So, and that stuff is beyond my understanding. The different chemicals and all that. Sometimes for little workover rigs, plug in a hole. They just fill it with cement. You know, it's different things, but they all need cement. So it is a big part of the cement jobs are a big part of the process here in the oil field. And companies like Halliburton, Schlumberger, ProPetro. There's more I forget. American Cementing. They all do it. This is a little one in Hobbs. I don't want to say the name, but I'm about to leave here. Cornstarch, I believe it. Yeah, any kind of fine stuff. Good night, Chivo. Maria, thank you. Good night. Buenas noches. Tío Ken con las chelas. Cuando vienes a Califas? Will. It's gonna be a while, you guys. I'll be here at least another 6-8 months. My favorite beers, Pacifico. I've been on a Pacifico trip lately. You know, cold. Some beers are okay warm. If they get warm. Pacifico tastes like shit warm, but it's my favorite beer cold. As far as a can, reaching in an ice chest, pulling a can out, Modelo. Modelo's hard to beat with the pulling out of ice water. Man, that's good. But Pacifico in the bottle. I used to do Corona. I don't, you know, it kind of sits heavy in your gut. You know, you drink too many of them. It's good with comida, with food. But Pacifico, I really like it. Dos Equis is a really clean beer. It tastes all right. It's smooth. It's clean. You know, a nice cold Dos Equis, I like it too. When I go full paisa, when I go full Guero Mojao, I do Victoria. Vicky's. No, not North Dakota. New Mexico, West Texas. San Diego, saludos. Ragnar Ragnar, it's a Vikingo nombre. Come on. What's up, bro? Saludos. Be safe. Good night, Renee. Thank you. Gracias. Igualmente. Chivo, do you talk to field engineers? I don't really. It's not the terminology I'm familiar with. Threw me off on that one. I'm sure they're called that, but you know, when you come on location like this with the rig, there's a company man, and what he says, he's God. He's God on location, or you'll get run off. You know, that's ultimate respect. What he says goes, no question. No, you fucking do it. You know, if you're doing, there's mud engineer. If you're doing clean out mud transfers, OBM, that's oil based mud. That's the stuff they use for drilling fluids. There's a bunch of different shit in there that collects the H2S, the gas, and it, you know, helps go down. You know, I'm not an expert on the process, but I did that a lot with the vacuum. I did vacuum for 3 years during the boom in South Texas about 12, 15 years ago. And then there's the tool pusher. He's the asshole on the job. He's the heart. He's the pusher. He's the one that ass check you. And then you got safety guy. And those are about the main ones right there. Directional driller. He's another one. Make sure you stay in the lease. You know, you can get fined real big or whatever. I guess I don't know. It's beyond me. The only ones I really dealt with in the past is the company man with something like this and the mud engineer. Some oil companies, like Exxon, are a little more strict with the safety. You got to go in there. You can't have guns. You can't even have a porno. Some of these places are real conservative, and used to be worse. You know, you used to have to be clean shaven. And I came back to the oil field after the boom. Everything was military. They would make fun of you. Oh, I'll be there at 2 a.m. What? You know, they fucking look. They wouldn't take you. It's military time. Clean shaven. You know. Now I say zero. I'll be there 0200. They laugh at me. Like, no, it's 2 a.m. What the fuck are you talking about? So things have changed. And I don't mind it because I get to have my barba. I wasn't looking forward to cutting this off. I get to keep my OTR shit, which they don't really respect me around here for it, but some of the guys with beards, they do. They say, God damn, you got a nice beard. But I ain't staying in the oil field forever, believe that. I'm keeping my barba. I'll be doing some reefer when the rates pick back up. Give it another year or so, we'll see. Trump could ever get out of the fucking Iran thing. I think things would stabilize. That's affecting the oil field. You would think something like that, which is probably why he was pushed, or why he decided to go in there and do that, because you know, presidents do that when they want to boom. You fuck with oil field countries, and they can deny all they want is the truth. You know, the price of barrel goes up, and then there's a boom, like what happened in South Texas with George Bush, George W., and Dick Cheney. Dick Cheney was like the brother of the Halliburton owner or some shit. He was related, so there was a major influence there. And people can deny it all they want, but that's how you create a boom. But it affects the oil field. You know, there were the price per barrel skyrocketed. We're like $160 a barrel or something there for a while, but it goes down. It's just not stable enough, and so it's not really booming over here. It's busy, but it's actually kind of slowed down. You know, it was busier before the Iran thing. I wish whoever the powers to be would figure that out and put an end to that shit, and things would be a lot better. What the hell? Envious Creations Car Club? What do you mean, what the hell? I'm over here trying to make some fetty. Stay out of trouble. Come on. Odessa, about 50 miles west of Hobbs. What's up, Chivo? Daytona, come on. What's up, bro? Kubale. Buenas noches. If I like working music, my friend, you go listen to Dropkick Murphys. Real band songs. Dropkick Murphys. I'll have to check it out, Raphael. License plate. They're terrorists. They came in with a missile projectile. I'll have to check that out, Rose. Saludos. And like you keep America going. God bless you. PTSD, man. I appreciate that, bro. Feels good to be appreciated. Hermiston, Oregon. No say, Joe Lopez. But I miss you guys. I miss that Chino buffet over there. Well, actually, it was at... I didn't really have Chino. I ordered a plato. Yeah, they had a little buffet too. But that's a good Chino spot. They have the Chinese lions, golden lions out front and shit. I forget the name. You know, it's nothing too fancy. But that's pretty good. It's my kind of Chino comida. I'm Mexican with a Viking name. I love the Viking culture. Strong ancestors, both Mayan and Viking. I do too. I think it's fucking chigon that Mexicans have conquistador and Azteca, you know, Mayans, all that stuff. You know, that's those chingon culturas in one. I think that's fucking badass. Vikings, hell yeah. Native Americans, you know, we can be proud of all of our past. Native Americans, they're fucking badasses too. You know, we can all be proud of our past. It's 2026. You know, no culture was perfect. Nobody was right. You know, we all learn, but there's some. All have some badass cultures in there. I'm proud of my people. We were conquerors too, and inventive, smart, adventurous. We went all over the world. I'm talking about whites, Europeans, and I'm proud of that. I'm not saying we're right, but I'm proud of that. And I think Native Americans should be proud of that too. Used to rip people's hearts out, fucking eat it. That's fucking that's as chingon as it gets. Drink the blood of your enemies. Come on. You know, chocolate. I didn't know it came from the Aztecs. We could thank the Aztecs for chocolate. They did some other stuff. I forgot. I've read a lot of history on it. Lately I've been reading a lot of history of the oil field. Ranger, Texas. You know, with 1917, the early 1920s, 1909, Kilgore, Texas, Ranger, Beaumont, Texas. There were booms. I forget if it was Ranger or the other one, Kilgore, but there was an acre called I forget what they called it, but there was so many derricks on 1 acre of land. It was such a boom that the derricks were touching each other. There's so many, like hundreds of derricks on like an acre of land or something, maybe a little bit more than an acre, but Texas has a lot more history than we think. I've been reading a lot about the Texas Army, the revolution for Texas independence against Mexico. I had no idea there's things that we weren't taught as gringos, because it's embarrassing. There's expeditions in the Tamaulipas that were failed miserably. Mexico kicked our asses. There's quite a few battles before we won our independence from Mexico, talking about Texas. You know, we lost a lot of battles. Tamaulipas, there's another expedition into Mexico somewhere else, I forget, but even going in, Texas claimed everything to the Rio Grande, east of the Rio Grande. So the Rio Grande cuts up all the way to the Rockies, called, you know, Denver. There was a Texas volunteer army squad that went up there to beat the Mexicans or Indians or whoever up there, and they got their ass kicked. And Texas couldn't hold it up there, hold the line up there. But they eventually won some battles. And what was that, Goliad? Over there, that town by Houston or whatever, eventually beat Santa Ana and got their independence. Texas, you fucked up. You should have stayed your own country. You could have been más chingón que México y Estados Unidos. And you should have stayed your own country. It would have been fucking badass. But there's a lot of history here that we don't even know. Copa Chivo, long live Cholino and TJ. Come on. All right. Free Texas would be amazing. Yes, sir. We got everything here. We got grain. Every kind of grain you can think of. Oil. Some of the biggest reserves in the world. Fucking more guns than most, probably the United States put together. I love the pride. I never lived in a state. I love the pride. The only problem, when you get pride in like that, you get some self-righteousness. I don't like that part of Texas. That really proud people, it breeds self-righteousness and shit like that. No one's perfect. I don't let Texas talk shit about California, by the way, California. Some good people, some of the nicest people in the world you'll run into, even gangsters. You go down there on the barrios. You don't roll in there at 2 a.m, flashing your chicken lights and shit. Show some respect, but some of the nicest people you'll meet are in California. Those are good people. They don't get enough credit. But I don't listen to it when Texas talks shit. Querétaro, saludos, Daniel. Tucson, Arizona, got to eat some good food down there. It's been a while since I've been over there, but yeah, you're right. Across from the Triple T, that road that goes, I forget the name, it goes at a 45. And that's a little Mexico over there, Puro Paisa. There's a lot of loncheras, even in the neighborhood itself. And running freight, if you go through that near the side, there's a few warehouses and stuff. But that part south of the freeway right there, across from the Triple T, I forget what that road's called. But there's a lot of good food over there. You go across the freeway, that industrial area, kind of on the way to the college. There's some good spots too. Sonorense. They got some of their own stuff. I forget the name of the burritos and stuff, but they got some pretty good comida. They don't get enough credit. Sonora, Menudo Blanco. I've had Menudo Blanco down there in Rio Rico, right by Nogales. That's some of the best menudo I've ever had. And it was Menudo Blanco. Very clean and very good. Machaca, carne seca, Sonorense. That's numero uno. Machaca, that's what you call it, right? When they put the carne seca on top of huevos and shit. They're really good at that dried meat, dried carne. Why am I pretending? Casper? I'm just a plastico, bro. I'm a fucking piece of shit. You called me out, bro. I was been waiting for someone to call me out. But you got me, man. But anyways. But yeah, Tucson's pretty good. Chaka, you got it? Go ahead, stop in. Your daddy had a soft chorizo, that's why I got your madre. You might even be my hijo, so you tacuache cus. You might want to show some respect. You might just be my son. I spread my seed all over this great land, not having soft hands. Woo, they're coming out. Come on, haters. What you got? That's 7th grade fucking shit talk? That's all you got? I spilt more tequila than you fucking drank in your life. Excuse me, I dried out pretending to be a construction worker. We're almost done. Poquito más. Thank you, Daytona. When you come to Tucson, food is on me. I appreciate that, Looney. You know, I went in one place one time waiting to unload. There was a little indoor soccer thing. And they had a little cantina in there, a little bar. And I had some bar. They had like their own little draft, a microbrewery, and they were playing soccer, a little football field in there. It's like a big warehouse, and I was unloading next to it. Cabinets. There was a cabinet place. I used to do cabinets. And there's another place I unloaded where you have to back over train tracks and then blindside into the dock, and then I fucking hurry up and do it before a train comes. You know, a train would come 2 minutes later after you hit the dock. It was pretty crazy. But good old Tucson. I'm on a Hollywood movie set. He's legit. Guero on the outside, Moreno on the inside. Turn my blue eyes brown, ese. Come on, Simon, que sí, carnal. This is the best damn tamal I've had in 10 years, Vato. Come on. I'm reporting this to OSHA. You do that. Thank you for letting everyone know you're a raton. Report this shit too, huh? Report away. Don't worry about it. The rat, the proud raton right there. The gracias for the Super Mario coin. Simon que sí, Looney. Daytona. Well, you know, I've had grown ass men talk like that. Where's your safety glasses? What the fuck? People, man. YouTube is fairly new to the shorts. You know, I get some shit, some haters on other platforms, but nothing like YouTube. Like if I was to fall in and, you know, fall into the hater shit, you know, they would all start coming out of the woodwork right now. They smell a little blood. There's a lot of that. I think there's a lot of kids on here. You know, one of the reasons why I deleted my original TikTok, I had almost 1 million people, and Instagram. Between Instagram and TikTok, I had 1 million people. I deleted 1 million followers. I thought YouTube would be an older audience because it's older, but the shorts is new. No, I brought out the kids. But I hate when coworkers come around and complain. Gloves and goggles. Fry bread, now you're talking. Now we're getting somewhere. Some fry bread and mutton, come on. Oh, Tigno's post. Good work, yes sir. Drive a Kimmer W9. But you know, I got soft hands. You know, I'm a plastico. I banged so many madres over the years. You guys had no idea in all those 5 years of TikTok how much chon-chon I got. Banging your moms. All those pueblos. H-Town. Un Chapina. Un Chaparrita. Ooh, she was the finest too. Wenatchee. Where else? Chicago. East Chicago. A gordita with a pretty face. I've had a few gorditas too, you know. Hey, you treat it, don't beat it. But keep talking shit. Little Honda Civic. I rip when I go through Sacramento when I was pulling the reefer. I used to jump out in lane 5 and rip your fucking doors off. You see them all bug-eyed calling their madres and shit. But what's up, dude? Alilio. I'm working, yes. I'm on my last pot. I have nice equipment. I really don't have to touch it too much. Pretty much unloads itself. I'm in New Mexico. I'm about 50 miles west of Hobbs. Saludos, H-Town, come on. Good oil field trash, that's right. Tu sabe. Just a truck driver. I'm a trucker, there's a difference. I'm in it for the lifestyle. I don't just drive a truck for the money. Trust me, I've lost my ass. Went through 2 divorces. I'm passionate about what I do. I'm addicted. You know, I take a break from going from the long haul. I come back to the oil field. When I get burned out in the oil field, I go back and do the long haul. I've done that my career. I've been doing it 16 years. Before that, I did construction. I have cement poisoning in my hands. It's ironic that I'm doing dry cement, but being a tile setter, not wearing gloves, trying to go fast, I've worked my ass off my whole life. The downside of that, I'm not perfect. You know, I've been a partier. So, you know, you work your ass off and then you flake one day and then, you know, no one respects you. All that work for nothing, but kind of the story of my life. I'm kind of a fuck up, but that's all right. But I have worked my ass off. Does it pay good? You can stack some money. I've had some of the best weeks I've ever had. Best checks I've ever had in my life as a hand. And then, but you'll get some zeros. It's not a boom. Come on, report me. Salute to the fuck ups. Come on. We are the best. You know why? Because we don't grow old. It's better to burn out than to fade away. Come on. Here for a good time, not a long time. I still smoke some pot, go pure porn star, get some chon on your madres, and fucking take doors for fun. That's what keeps me awake at night. I did two back-to-backs. Longview, Texas to Odessa the past few nights. No one fucking passed me. I took everyone's fucking door. A few cars would have let me pass them, but no 18-wheeler ever fucking... I ain't let no 18-wheeler pass me. I'm 50. I'll be 51 in 2 months. They told me I wouldn't live to see 21. Then they said I wouldn't live to see 25. And then 40. Now I'm 50. Pichi paisa. Woo! I'm the last man standing, and the hard partiers, they're all dead. Everyone I grew up with. There's one Mojave Indian that was still alive last time I went to Needles, the village. John Jenkins. And he was in pretty bad shape. I'm sure he's dead by now. Like my laugh? All right, come on. Let's get out of here. Stuff's kind of sticky. What they put in there?
I don't know. That didn't have anything special. Long time no see. Chivo Guero? Chivo Guero, that's me. Excuse me.
that. Thank you, sir. That's hot. I love it. I need my gloves. That's too fucking hot. The hell trailer. It's oh yeah, that is a brand name trailer. This one's a Vantage. Thank you, sir. Easy money. ¿Te quieres un rojo? All right. What's my 1020? My birthday? I'm about 50 miles west of Hobbs on Elise Road. Fucking cement on my face. Get Mendo? What? Menudo? Johnny B's. Greetings from Phoenix, Johnny B's. Saludo, bro. I'm over here in New Mexico tonight on the Elise Road. It's been a while since I went to a rig. What should Chivo get for breakfast tomorrow? Asking the folks. I don't know, but tomorrow's Thursday, right? I didn't get my check Monday, so I should have a good check. Hopefully nothing else going on tonight in the morning. Get my check going back in the Hobbs. I live on the Texas line, hopefully only for a few more days. And then go into Hobbs and cash that thing. I'll give me something, some chilaquiles or something. But usually Maurice goes on a Friday or a Saturday, Menudo on a Sunday. But if I'm working on the field, I'll hit Menudo on the weekend, Sábado, Domingo. I've learned not to do it during the week. I've had a bad experience. Usually these restaurants, taquerias, they'll make the Menudo on a Friday or Thursday night for the weekend. And if it's not all gone by Sunday, they'll recycle it, defrost it and shit. And, that's how you get sick. You take a chance. And you don't want to get bubble gut, trust me. It's not fun. You're blowing stuff out of every orifice. Sorry to be graphic, but it's not. Don't do it, Raza. Take it from the Guero. It's made for the weekend. Eat it on the weekend. So there are some places that specialize in Menudo. North Wichita. What is that, Barrio El Norte in Wichita? There's a place called just for Menudo. The name is Menudo something. You'll find some restaurants in there. Every city has one maybe. And they do it. They make it fresh all week. But I hope they do anyways. You back here now? It's been a while. I've been busy. Been mucho manejando. A lot of long runs to Tatum, Texas. It's over by Longview. Almost Shreveport, Louisiana. Another 50 miles or 60 miles or so. And taking that back to Odessa. And I did a turn and burn. That's like 2,000 miles in 3 days. And then, I unload and unload myself. It's not like a dry van or nothing. So yeah, I'm kind of wore out. And then I did a load from Monahans to Hobbs. And now I'm doing an outbound. So hopefully I catch a break. Get some time in my canton, in my RV tonight. And just chill out. Need some depends for those incidents. Oh, for the money, yeah. You ain't lying. I don't know about depends. Depends is like maxi pad or something, right? You could at least said diaper, Carnal. Come on. Getting older. I'm not an old man yet, but still at 50, my 50s, the gaskets aren't as tight as they used to be. Be careful trying to, release some gas. You never know. You might shart. It's happened. You got to be, oh shit, look at that Luna. Whoa, muy bonita. Look at that shit. Hunter moon, come on. And isn't that fucking beautiful? Out here in the lease, tarantulas walking around, the rig in the background, fucking moon like that. Look at that shit. Coyotes, bobcats running around. That's what I'm talking about. Oh, it's a diaper for men and women? All right. Whiskey or beer? I like mixed drinks. I like my whiskey. I like whiskey and Coke. I like rum and Coke. I've drank that most of my life. Tequila. I've done a lot of that the past 10 years. On that tequila trip, exploring Cultura Mexicana. A whole lot of Coralejo Reposados. I've learned the Reposados are the best for the crudo. You don't get as crudo the next day. It's gorgeous. Yeah. It gets hot, you know. You get burned out eating dust all the time, but it is beautiful, man, out here at night. During the day, it kind of sucks, I ain't gonna lie. It's real dusty. On the night, it's more peaceful, you know, it's meditative. Look at that shit. Oh! Let's see if we can find some tarantulas. Only got a few percent left on my phone. It might die. Sometimes you see them walking around, a lot of them. Sometimes you don't see shit. Towards October over here in the desert, especially in New Mexico, the snakes, they start coming out. It gets a little colder, starts cooling down, and the sun goes down. They'll come out on the road for the warmth. Any desert, they do that. They do that in the Mojave Desert too. You guys want to go rattlesnake hunting? Just wait till about the sun goes down. Right there, it starts getting cooler. The snakes will come out and lay on the road, get warm. The last of the warmth. Tarantulas are real active. That's their molting season or mating season. You know, the tarantulas we see are males, the ones walking around. And when they mate with the female kills them. They eat them. The females are the chingonas of that creature. Anyways, I tip my hat to you, sir. My dad was a long distance trucker. Old Mike Hawk. It feels good to be appreciated, bro. And God bless your dad. My dad's 88. He's under the knife. Diabetes finally caught up with him. When men turn 80, they really start showing their, they start getting shriveled up old men. I'd be lucky to live 60. I've been talking to my flocka, let me at least live till I'm 60. See my kid at least get close to 18, know he's going to be all right. I got a 8-year-old in Vegas. I got two older kids from a different wife in San Antonio. I didn't break the cycle in one. She followed my footsteps. A lot of hard drugs on the street. We don't really talk right now. It kind of scares the shit out of me. It reminds me of myself. But the other one, good kid. Hopefully he goes to the fireman school, becomes a fireman. But I'm really proud of my older son in San Antonio. But I got a younger one, and he's a big little dude. I got a hot Italian wife, or ex-wife, but she's pretty cool. Like, we're back together, so I miss my family. We all miss having a family. And hold on, let me get past this guy. All right, bro. Look at that, the porta potty and the Luna. Hold on. pull over right here. We got some time before we get back on the road. I can't believe I haven't seen a tarantula yet tonight. Usually out right now. But we'll tell a ghost story or something before I get back. We get back on the road. Hold on. Let me see how much battery I got. Hold on. 17%. We're good. An emergency guardrail. Hop on side of the road. Always given some headlights. Pull up. And sit and stare. Kathleen. We're cut from the same cloth. I love that stuff. You know, every part of the United States. That's where I live. So if you're in a different country. But the tall cactus of the Southwest. You got the tall pines of the Northern California, the Northwest, the mountains, the Cascades, the Rockies, the Sierra Nevadas. Man, it's beautiful. Back east, you got some diamonds in the rough. You go over there, North Carolina, Kentucky, Tennessee, where the all meets right there. The Smoky Mountains is beautiful, and the Cherokee foothills, the Blue Ridge. You go in the Poconos in Pennsylvania. One of the most prettiest places doesn't get talked about is upstate New York, and it's a little bit better. It looks more mountainy than the Appalachians. You know, you got like peaks and shit. Upstate New York is like perfectly naturally manicured, like a Super Mario game. The grass, the trees are perfectly, you know, it's very beautiful. You know, and you don't have the bugs and shit from the south. Fire ants. You can go lay in the grass, walk barefoot and stuff, not worry about stepping on bull nettle and stickers and ants and shit. But very beautiful up there. You know, by far. There is an animal up there, some way up there. But anyways, the West is the best by far. There's just a lot more stuff. You know, there's places here and there in the East. As a trucker, one of the most beautiful things I've seen was as I was rookie my first year, and the sun was about to come up, and I rolled through Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, and an old Civil War battlefield, right there, the original battlefield, the cemetery and everything, and the sun was still coming up. It was like dark and red, and you see the patches of fog in the graveyard, old Civil War graveyard, deer munching on the grass, and old cannon over there. Man, it was fucking beautiful. You could feel the history in the air and stuff like that. That's my passion. I'm not a gearhead, you guys. Stuff like that is why I'm a trucker. You know, I'm trust me, I'm not a bookworm or nothing like that, but I love geology, social studies, history, stuff like that is my passion behind being a truck driver. I know my race. You know, going all over, you can see the different migrants from Europe. Their own shades of white. You get up there in Maryland, Pennsylvania. It's a different kind of white I never seen before. You know, like Finland and shit. It's hard to explain. Dark complected, but like whiter than white. There's different things from all different. The Irish, the Germans of Texas, little Polish towns, the Scots and Irish of the Appalachian Mountains. You know, a lot of Californians don't know that they're Okies. They're in the Dust Bowl. Major migration from Oklahoma and Panhandle, Texas, to California. That helped build the populations in Southern California. You guys are Okies and don't even know it over there, you liberals. You were once some old hicks fucking farmers and shit. But I'm poking at you. I'm not capping on you. But I love it, man. And you got a lot of memories out here being a trucker. A lot of history. You'll make some good memories, but you'll grow old before your time. It's not healthy. I went through 2 divorces in 15 years, 16 years. My health. A lot of guys like me, they die in their 50s. Heart attacks. I'm sure I probably might have one if I went up to the Rockies, going over whatever that pass is. I forget, 13,000 feet high. The elevation will get you if you got heart problems. And a lot of guys drop. I come back to the oil field to get a little bit better shape. The problem is, you turn into oil field trash. At least I did. You party too much, work hard, play hard. So you kind of cancel it out. You know, you get out of the truck and work a little bit, get the blood moving, but you destroy yourself with the partying. You know, it's hard not to work your ass off, and then I don't want to say work my ass off, but you work like that, and then fuck it. I want to get fucked up when my days off. I mean, am I unique or something? Can someone tell me I'm not unique, please? But yeah, I got to stop that. I've toned down on it a lot, but I still do it. It's when you hit 50, the check engine light will come on. You start paying a toll. You can't chase money like you used to, and the lack of sleep, the weird sleep habits, it all catches up with you, and it pays a toll on your body. And so yeah, I'm trying to work on it a little bit. But this move I'm doing, hopefully Sunday I'll move my RV to Pecos. It's more of a schedule instead of this on-call stuff. Always been in a truck, and get another weight set. You know, start pumping again. I've done it in the past before I was a trucker. Get the muscles, get some cuts and stuff a little bit, hopefully. Excuse me, and get back in shape. Get that blood going. I think it'll be good for me. It'll be a good move. Get away from Hobbs. I know too many. I know too much over here. Get over there. I think it'll be a good move for me. Hobbs, it's been fun. Andrews, Seminole, Denver City, Seagraves. I know I'm missing a few in there, but you guys are all right. You know, but it's time for the weather to go. I got to end this chapter. I should have left about 6 months ago. Would have saved me a lot of money. Parker, Arizona. Now we're talking. You good, brother? Just get the rest. Take your vitamins. Yes, sir. 17 years doing wildfire. That's a rough job. You guys got to breathe that shit in. My son wanted to do that. I hope he becomes a fireman. You know, he did the paramedic thing. He did the online thing. And you don't get paid to go do the final internship at the fire department or whatever. It's beyond my understanding. I don't want to push him too much to get the truth out of him, but you know, you don't get paid. I think you got to pay. You got to come up with a little chunk of change. And, you know, I'm willing to give it to him. He's my son, but I'm really proud of that guy. I hope he chases his dream, does wildfires. He did a vacation, a little trip up to Oregon in the Cascades, and something moving out there. But anyways, a buddy of mine always had high blood pressure. He was OTR, ran his own authority. He bailed 2 years ago. Now he's on dialysis. Been driving since '86. Damn. Dialysis sucks. You're a slave to that machine. And if you don't have one in the town you live in, you got to go to drive 50 miles, 80 miles on a daily. You know, that's rough. And you wither up and die anyways. Dialysis because you have a lack of protein, right? You get all skinny and shit. Your kidneys. No, that's not a good way to go. My he's a survivor. You know, they're chopping him one piece at a time. He's diabetic. Finally, he took real good care of himself. But once he turned 80, you know, it started going downhill. But he's still kicking it. He's 88. And, he's going through it again. They just chopped another toe off on the other foot. But I think he's about done with it. I think he's about done. Say, you know, fuck this. You're not cutting me up anymore. I think he's about there. And it is near. He knows it. Take your fish oil. Magnesium. Long Beach. You know, I did right after Christmas on Facebook. I was ordering all those vitamins and shit. And a lot of that stuff's fake. I wasted so much money. That mushroom. You know, reading on that stuff. Some of that mushroom chewy thing. You know, all these things. I lost weight. You know, a lot of it not in a good way, but I got mindful of my weight. You know, for a minute there, I was disciplined with eating. You could discipline yourself on what you eat, your diet. You could control that. You could control any other addiction, any other vice you have, if you can discipline yourself with the food. And I did it there for a minute. And then you see a loaded baked potato with bacon and shit, carne asada. You know, it's not easy. But anyways, my point to that was, you lose weight. I read up on that. That's why people get old. They try to drop weight, get skinny. Your cells will regenerate. When you're heavy and stuff, it doesn't do that. You just keep degenerating. But when you lose weight, something happens with your cells. I forget how to explain it, but you start regenerating your cells, and you can regenerate damages that you've done to yourself. And I ain't gonna lie, there's a lot of men out there, being a pre-diabetic, eating all that sugar, all that junk, go to have some chon, and my fucking shit wouldn't get all the way, no muy duro. That was embarrassing. A few times, it would like one every every 3 times. It's like, what the fuck? And what, do you have ED or something? It's like, no, what the, oh man, it was embarrassing. Fuck that. So yeah, I cut that sugar out real quick, and stopped drinking sodas, real sodas and all that stuff. I dropped 10 pounds right off the bat. And you're pre-diabetics, you can do it, man. Sugar affects 2 things the most if you're a diabetic: your eyes and your penis. And fuck that. What's the point if that shit don't work? So yeah, I'm not. I did a lot of work with that. I want that to work, but serio. Anyways, this is the men channel. Mujeres, women, you're more than welcome. This is like men's talk. You're more than welcome to listen. But anyways, the liver can literally regenerate and heal by weight loss and diet. A lot of stuff, and my skin too. Especially being a white boy, I'm a blonde and shit. Heavy smoker. It's my skin, and that's an organ. That's the biggest organ in your body, and it's starting to show. But anyways, alcohol too. I've toned down on it a lot. That TikTok, that was part of the reason of deleting the original TikTok. I was puro fucking bandito, getting El Chivo Guero, getting plastered, drunk. I did it all for years, and but yeah, I've slowed down a lot, you guys. Fasting is great for the body, yes sir. No, I'm just the hand, you guys. I'm not an owner operator. Dallas, Texas. Saludos. DFW. Old Mark. Trade day. Come on. Cross border anywhere? Do I cross the border anymore? It's been over 20 years. Nogales, Mexico was the last place I was at. And I dropped the wall like a mohel. It was the late 90s. Yeah. How many Mexicanos on here can say you swam across Rio Grande, or jumped the wall? This Pichihueto did it. I had warrants in Maricopa County, and I was going to go back to the port. I had enough. I was there for like 4 days. And with a compa named Flaco. Yeah, his name was really Flaco. Yeah, I'll save the story for another day. But had me a good old time. And I ended up, oh shit, I can't go to the port. I got warrants. So I fucking hopped the wall. And, they found out who I was anyways. Long story short, the warrants weren't serious. They let me go. They weren't going to extradite me. So that Walmart was brand new. They had just built that in Nogales, Mexico. I think it was 98 or 99. And I walked to that Walmart, begged my mom for $50. Then I walked to the Greyhound, the only white boy on that thing, and caught that bus to Phoenix. Went right back to the square. That's the Paisano Barrio. There's 2 hoods in North Phoenix. Sunny Slope in the square. And I ran around the square. The Peckerwood Paisa, come on. Rowlett Garland. You grew up in Pleasant Grove? Nice. That's the end of my comment. Higher up. Oh shit, I missed it. Alright. See if I can backtrack. I quit drinking 20 years ago, saved my life. I was making moonshine, Ironhead. Nice. Yeah, that moonshine tastes like fucking kerosene. Real moonshine. I worked for some hillbillies from Harlan, Everett's, and Harlan, Kentucky. Everett's, that's true hillbilly shit over there, man. Went back to Harlan. It's like fucking night. The hills are so steep and shit in that eastern Kentucky. But they turned me on to real moonshine. I had some real stuff. They taught me how to test it too. You put it on a spoon and put a lighter on it. But man, the real shit, like kerosene. When they do that Applejack, the apple flavor to it, it makes it a little more tolerable. But God bless you, bro. Oh, Popcorn Sutton. What was his famous saying? When freedom is outlaw, free men become outlaws. Oh, Popcorn Sutton. He's an old outlaw moonshiner. And I used to look at a lot of his videos. He died years ago. That's a true outlaw right there. But anyways, God bless you, Ironhead. I did the sobriety thing for 5 years. No drugs. I looked at beer. Alcohol is a drug. I went to NA. I even felt guilty smoking. And then I was a tile setter. I did real good. And started lifting weights. I got real buff, powerlifting. And then in '08, the economy went down. Housing economy. I was a tile setter, doing flooring and shit. I was a subcontractor. There's like Floor Depot in San Antonio, subcontracting for 4 stores. I did pretty good there for a minute. And then the housing economy collapsed. I had to do something different. I had a wife and 2 kids. And that's when I was working at. I went to work for a tile store I used to contract for. And making $10 an hour, it sucked. And I seen the truckers hitting the dock. A hot-ass warehouse in the middle of summer in San Antonio. And I got jealous. These gordos were coming out with an unmelted Snickers bar, ice-cold Coca-Cola. And I was jealous. So fuck this, I'm getting my CDO. And I think it was about another year after that I got my CDO. Mountain Dew? That's right. If it was playing right now, I could sing along with it. It's been a while since I heard that. Chug-a-lug, chug-a-lug. Everyone say howdy-ho. Took 1 sip, then a double backflip. Chug-a-lug, chug-a-lug. 4-H and a FFA. On a field trip to the farm. Yeah, that's some good old songs. Shout out to Losi. Ralph Stanley. No, that was a good movie that they made. What the fuck was it called? I forget what it was called. The Soggy Bottom Boys. What was it? I am a man of constant sorrow. I've been in trouble all my days. That was a good movie. I forget what the name of it is. I need to go get that again. You know, when digital stuff came out, you know, Blockbuster, Redbox killed Blockbuster and Hollywood Video. Netflix killed the Redbox. You know, it's a shame. Remember going to Blockbuster and all that? That was good family time back then. Getting the popcorn, all those old VHS tapes and stuff. And, that was like a family event every Friday. That was a good old time. There's some old movies there. I used to have a huge VHS collection. A big one. And then DVDs came out. I had, you know, not as good as my VHS. But, man, a lot of good movies. But anyways, is the good money in New Mexico for Class A? I'm from the Bay Area. You know, I heard, I don't know if it's true or not, if you have a Class A, it costs, in New Mexico CDO, it costs more to put you on people's insurance. New Mexico has a reputation. Their drivers. I'm just telling you, a lot of companies, insurances, you know, I hear they charge, if you have a CDL from New Mexico, they make the company pay an extra $1,000 for you. You know, but if you're talking about the oil field, yeah, there's some good money over here. In New Mexico, it's the Delta. Hold on, man, I'm tried out, you guys. Let's see what I got. I got a hot soda. The Permian Basin is the West Texas oil field. It's all the Permian Basin. But there's a oil field inside the oil field called the Delaware Basin. And that's all of southeast New Mexico. It goes around Pecos, Mentone, and like that, around the corners of New Mexico. And, you know, a half circle around that into Texas. And then you get over by Midland, Odessa, that's more Permian. But over here, the high concentration of wells is a lot. And you'll see some of these other fields. You go over on your way to Artesia, there's, oil wells. Boom, 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 boom. You go over here, Eunice. On the way to Hobbs, between Hobbs and Eunice, there's a little patch over there, little Camino over there. There's so many pumps. It would have been amazing to see him drill that back in the day with all the derricks being that close together. But this New Mexico is where it's at. When I came here, I worked for a company called PS. They're out of Robstown, Texas, Corpus Christi. And they're all from South Texas. RGV, Victoria, San Antonio, Pleasanton. And there's an oil field down there, South Texas. So but they work over here, if that'll tell you something. They live in the South Texas oil field, or close to it, but they come all the way over here. So that should tell you guys all something. There's a lot more movement over here than there is over there. I never worked in North Dakota. They have a lot of stuff. I would imagine in the winter, they're hurting for drivers. I'm pretty sure you can make some good money. And people go work there in the summer, and then as soon as the snow hits, they're all, fuck this. And they come back down south. I bet in the winter they pay pretty damn good. But you're going to earn that money too. Chain up, chain down. But I thought about doing it. I'm a pretty good winter driver. And the vacuums up there are a lot bigger. If I'm not mistaken, they're like triple axles. Down here, they're 130 barrels vacuums. Up there, you're like 160 barrels or more. They're really big vacuums. West Pennsylvania, they're small. They're like straight trucks. And they're definitely not even 130 barrels. But things are a lot tighter over there, more hilly. And anyways, Wyoming, there's a lot of gas, natural gas. You'll see some movement over there. Utah, a lot of coal trucks. I'm sure they got some natural gas too. There's oil, if the oil field ever opens up in Nevada, I read that's the third highest potential state for production in Nevada. I would love to go work over there. There is a little patch. I've taken a trip to going off my Camino and go to see Area 51, Rachel, Nevada, and then you come back on the way to Ely or Austin, Nevada. I forget, there's a valley in there with a lot of pumps. It's a small patch, but I would love to be the vacuum driver that does that valley. I wish they'd fire that guy. Hire me right now. I'd do that the rest of my life. But I would love to do that out in the Great Basin. But they got to have better technology. In South Texas, there's oil underneath the Eagle Ford. There's a whole other shell. But the technology isn't there. It's too hot. When that technology gets better, South Texas will be booming again someday. It's still active. They got a lot of shit down there. But, I learned, I was in South Texas for over 3 years during the boom. They did mostly vacuum. I did super sucker, a little bit of end dump. But vacuum was mostly what I did. I did it a lot of hours, man. I got nothing to show for it too. And private school. You guys that pay, I've seen private school tear up so many marriages. Yeah, tore up that one. Having rich, her parents we lived in San Antonio because she was an Air Force brat. I had a daughter, we lived in Vegas. We didn't want her to grow up to be a stripper, so we ended up in San Antonio. I lasted 15 years in that marriage. Her dad was a retired full board colonel. He was an asshole, very controlling, and I was kind of a fuck up, but I was doing good. I had a lot of potential. I was a hard worker, at least, good work ethic. But all that work I did went to pay for private school. And I told him before I even started, you guys, I cannot afford this. I'm not doing this. We're not rich. And there was a real expensive OLPH in Selma, Texas. My kids went to that for years. So behind my back, my wife, out of guilt, was giving her all the money we had saved. If we couldn't pay, but as soon as I built up that bank, she started throwing the money, thousands. So all that work, killing myself, ruining my health, chasing that dollar for nothing. And in the end, my daughter was on dope. I don't want to say too much personal But that did not help her. My son hated it too. Private school isn't for everybody. If you're rich, go for it. But, you know, you can move out to a small town, get away from the city. There's some nice schools out there, public schools. You know, you don't have to go pay, you know, oh man, that tore up that marriage. I was so mad. There was a few months in there. I worked over, you know, most of the time I worked over 100 hours a week. I was younger. I was in my 30s. And I averaged over 100 hours a week doing vacuum ticket time. Now that's a lot of money. As a hand, as a company driver, it puts you in that next tax bracket. I was paying taxes on it and still making $2,500, $2,700 after taxes came out. It wasn't even on a 1099 or whatever you call it. You know, so I was making like close to 3,500 or something, averaging that. So I was in that next tax bracket. But and I never got to see taxes come back. All that taxes, all that money I paid, I was like, what the fuck? And I had to ask her. And you know, you should have like 10 grand coming back. All the tax, I paid a lot of fucking taxes in that 3 years. And I never seen none of it. You know, I kept asking her, where's our taxes? You should have a lot of money. I'm gonna go buy a jet ski. I mean, I'm an old river rat. I deserved it. I want to go buy a Wave Runner. I went into that Yamaha shop in Selma next to that Rudy's. And I was going to put a few grand down on buying a $10,000 Wave Runner. I went in there, you know, there should have been at least $6,000, $7,000 in the bank after that month. I killed it that month. And went in there, there was like $380 in the bank. I went in there and they laughed me. I was so embarrassed and mad. And what the fuck, man? And then she finally got honest, paying it all to private school. And in the summer, this Amia Swak, this Christian camp, cost $7,000 a kid. We're not rich. And she was paying that. You know, I'm glad my kids went to some nice stuff, but goddamn, we're not rich. Couldn't afford that. Everything, nothing to show for it. That's why I divorced her ass. You women suck. You call us manipulators. No, women, no, good women out there, but hear me out. I'm talking to my men. Most of you suck. You know, men, don't be soft like I was. You give them an inch, they'll take a mile. They call us liars and manipulators. They're the liars and manipulators. They'll manipulate the fuck out of you if you give them a chance. Always watch your ass. Never trust a woman. Al cien. They will fuck you over. And they do things based on feelings. They think if they have a feeling, it's a fact. No, men are more from up top. You know, women go off their emotions and their feelings. So they justify it. If they feel a certain way, it's justified. So now it becomes a fact. They're okay. They're right. But no. That's why you can never trust a woman, you guys. Just giving you a heads up. You younger guys, take your time. If you see your friends getting married, having families, and you feel like you're falling behind, maybe that's meant to be. Take your fucking time. Women these days, and women just want the kids. They want your money. They'll just marry you just to fucking divorce you a few years later. Set you up, play the game, act like they love you, and drive and slowly chip away at your mental health, degrade you, knock away your self-esteem. And next thing you know, you're pretty much a bitch. Let's be honest. And you don't realize it because you love your family, trying so hard, wondering what's going on, and she's fucked up your head so much, and then you start doing stupid shit, and then see him, and then in the court of law you look fucking stupid, and it's all them. They're the master manipulators. Never trust a woman 100%. Always cover your ass. Youth, you take your time. If I could do it over again, I'd be a trucker, not get married, and just live in the truck. Just stack my money. You do that for 10 years, you'd have hundreds of thousands in the bank. And you'd have a good head in your shoulders. And then go start a family. Or then go buy that new Ford F-350. You know, people get a little bit of money, a little bit of credit right off the bat, myself. And you go and buy a new vehicle. Or go put a big down payment on a house. Don't do it. True freedom is being debt-free. You're a slave to debt in America. unless you pay things cash. You pay things cash, you save it up, go drive a beater truck, and stack your money, stack your fedia, and then do that for 8-10 years. You'll be ahead of everyone, and you'll attract a higher grade of woman, a woman that's waited and done the same thing, that's intelligent and classier. You will be what you attract, what you are, and it's true. And you'll get a fine ass hyena. You'll be ahead of everyone. Then go get that house. Then go get that badass fucking truck, and then start a family. That's my advice to the youth. But anyways, women are impulsive, sentimental, and don't think before doing stupid things. They do it, then regrets afterwards. I'll never be in a couple ever again. Can take another treason. I'll end up at, yeah. I've been through it. Friends with benefits? Yeah, the problem is there's not too many of those around. They all want a relationship, or they want to be the only one. I've had multiple girlfriends at one time being a trucker. It was too much work. They all want your attention. And they find out you're not giving their attention, then you're cheating. Whether they know it or not, can prove it or not, they just boom, in their head, you're cheating. Even if you're not doing that, let's say you got a hobby, you're out there fishing, you're you're giving her the time or emotional support, you're cheating. And technically they're kind of right, but you're not doing it with another one. But anyway, I got sidetracked with that one. But anyways, come on. Looking clean. Thanks, man. I just shaved it. I'm a little rough. I need to catch up on sleep. I just did I did a couple long runs to Tatum. That's over by Longview, Texas. Brought it back to Odessa, and then I went to Monahans, brought it to Hobbs. Now I just did outbound. So the past 4 days, I did a lot, and I've had some good sleep here and there, but still I need to catch up. I'm a little rough right now. You can hear it in my voice, but almost going. Telling Daytona. Mickey Miller in Ciudad de Mexico. Saludos. CDMX. Cordiales 7351. Habitos 575. Saludo, carnal. How many hours a day do you sleep? Depends. When it's real busy, you're getting run ragged, and you got to get it while you can. It's the name of the game in the oil field. You get 2 hours here, 2 hours there, 2 hours here, 2 hours there. You do that for 2 or 3 weeks, run yourself ragged. But if you don't do it, you're going to have about 2 or 3 weeks that are not good. You got to get it while you can. It's not a boom. There's a lot of work here, but when it gets busy, you can't stop. You'll regret it later. You'll regret not toughing it out, doing that extra load or two, and because it needs to average itself out. Because you'll have some zeros or some small weeks in there. You need. And I've had the biggest checks I've ever had in my life, working over here doing the cement. I've also had some real small ones. So it averages itself out. You got to get it while you can, you guys. That subject just fucked up my mood. Let's talk about big rigs races. Have you ever seen? What? Get it while you can? All right, my cock. I stopped watching NASCAR. I don't know about that, Canada. When Rusty Wallace when Dale Earnhardt died and Rusty Wallace was out of it, I'd lost my interest in NASCAR. I used to watch that shit. I think I was still a teenager, or in my 20s. When the big three, Ginobili, Duncan, and Parker retired, I stopped watching the Spurs, the basketball. Now I got excited again with Wemby. I hope they put the puzzle pieces, and I hope they get that dude. What's his name? The 3-point guy from Golden State. He'd be a good piece. Get him for a year or two. Let Wemby get a couple championships. And anyways, I hope they get the pieces. Wemby got me excited. I hadn't watched NBA since the big three retired. I'm a Spurs fan. And that got me real excited. That dude is a beast. And, he needed to win that championship, or he'll never have the credit over Tim Duncan. Tim Duncan was a winner. He didn't lose the championship until later, until he almost retired. What was it, 2012 or 17 or something? But he never lost. Every time he went to the finals until the last one, he won. And Wemby's not following in that footsteps. So right off the bat, Wemby needed to do that, and he didn't do it. And God bless him, but I am excited for the Spurs. You know, I don't think anyone could ever say, unless Wemby does something spectacular, will never be better than Tim Duncan. Even though he is better. He's a freak. 7'4". He can dribble. He's got fucking handles. He can shoot threes from half court. The guy's a fucking beast. But you don't win the championship, you're not. It makes Tim Duncan better. But anyways, come on. Mas mueve. All right, I got sidetracked. Shout out my friend Cody, Shannon, Javon Jackson from Louisville, Kentucky. We're big friends over there. Good old Louisville, Frank. I took my daughter, I think she was in 8th grade, freshman or something, trucking with me when I was doing the long haul, when I worked for that hillbilly. The hillbillies over there. And I do a lot over there, Kentucky. We were in the Ghost shows when Ghost Adventures was out. And they did the Waverly Hills Sanitarium. Hold on. I went to it. It's up a little hill. I took my 18-wheeler up there. It's tight. Not much room to back around. You'll fall off the hill. And then you got the gate right there, and there's a guard. You can't just walk in there and explore it. You know? And you can't just go there and buy a ticket and go there. You got to do it online. So we showed up there, and I didn't do it online, and they're about to open the gate for everyone that had the ticket for the Ghost Tour. It's like, fuck. And there was a car full of 3 women, older women, and they had an extra ticket. And they said, you know what, we'll take your daughter. And I stayed down in the truck. They took my daughter in there. They even bought her a shirt, Waverly Hills Sanitarium shirt. And she took some pictures of the meat chute, the body chute, where the people would die. Waverly Hills Sanitarium was an old tuberculosis clinic. And she took the pictures of that death chute, and you could see mist, clouds, like intelligent, you know, it wasn't just kind of like a little smear in the, I mean, you could tell it was something going on in there. And she didn't find anything else on the photos, but they had experiences like one of the ladies had their fucking pant leg tugged on, and you know, they all scream. But man, that would have been cool. I really wanted to go with my daughter, but at least my daughter got to experience it. And then I think that other driver is about to come. I can't let him beat me back. But Louisville, Kentucky, you know, on the other side, and what's the name of that town? I was stuck there one time when they had the Derby. And it was real busy, and I was stuck on, what is that, Indiana or Ohio on the other side? I forget. But I really like that, the Ohio River Valley area, Louisville, Cincinnati, Hebron, Kentucky. I really like that area. And really southern Indiana, all those little houses. They got cornfields all behind them. They got their own pumpkin patch. They all look like Larry Bird. French Lick, Indiana, you know. That's a really cool fucking places over there. It's like their own shade of white, the Blondes. And you guys need to go check it out. Cincinnati, Ohio. I never seen fast food chili. American chili and beans. Skyline chili. They have these other ones. The whole area has them. And there's like 2 or 3 different chili places. It's pretty damn good. You know, those are old baseball towns. Cincinnati. You know, with the old chili, hot dogs. You know, you got baseball towns. Milwaukee with the beer. Golden, Colorado. St. Louis. The breweries. Budweiser Brewery. All these old baseball towns. Americana. You know, people think Americans don't have culture. You know, we do. There's a lot of stuff if you look into it. A lot of history there. And it's still out there, but I gotta go. I can't let this guy beat me. Thank you guys for listening to me. And I'll make some videos soon. I've just been busy. But my moderators, I love you guys. Thank you. Good night.